We always say, welcome to the Eastman Sport Report, your father-son coach-player podcast about the Sacramento Kings and the San Francisco 49ers. But we haven't talked about the Kings much because they've been losing. But we won 3 games in a row. We can go back to losing now. I kind of want AJ Devonsa. And, yeah. Good job. We lit the beam. But please go back to losing.
For the win!
Hello and welcome back to the Eastman Sport Report, your father-son coach-player podcast about the Sacramento Kings and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, Max Eastman, joined once again by my co-host, Steven Eastman.
Hello, Max. Hey, everybody out there. We thank you, everybody, for joining our lovely podcast. We have fun, so much fun here. And nice jersey.
Thank you. If our voices sound a little different, that's because I'm still recovering from being sick and he's getting a little sick. So
and it's a late night podcast, so this is late night edition of the Eastman
about
Report.
9:40 p.m. when we're recording this. So
on a Tuesday.
Because
we had a game today, coach player. He had a game today. So yeah, it was a close game.
It was a close game. But if we slur our words, if we mess up, that's our fault, and we're just telling you why. Okay, so.
Hey, the Niners. We still haven't in the game.
How are we still in this? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. Every time I've doubted this team, they've somehow proven me wrong.
They're the most resilient is the word that I've heard from the Niners.
Demarcus Robinson said that.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. We're the most resilient team that we've ever seen. We'll get into Eric Kendricks, but this is why Eric Kendricks wanted to join our team. When he went to the Cowboys last year. He actually was supposed to be signed by the Niners last year as a replacement to Dre Greenlaw, and he was going to be paired next to Fred Warner. And he's like, no, I don't want to be a halftime replacement. I'm going to go to the Cowboys. Well, okay, he didn't really do great there because the team didn't do great. Anyway, and he's like, wait a minute, the Niners have all these injuries. Why are they so good? And now he's here, and he understands why. The culture that the Niners have built. I wish the Kings could copy this. You know, you're like, and we're not going to talk much about the Kings today. That's your one little bit about snip about the Kings. Maybe I'll throw something at the very end. But they have a great culture.
We have a winning culture. We have a resilient culture. We have a next man up mentality. Yeah. Everyone does.
I mean, have you heard the story about what George Kittle did when he went into the locker room?
He got a bottle of tequila.
Well, yeah,
I heard.
I don't know if it was Jed York texted him, called him, came down and saw him, but somehow Jed York says, "Hey, do you need anything?" And he's like, I'll take some tequila.
Yeah, sure.
And so he got a bottle. It's like, okay, that's the mentality of hey, the owner's like, you want something? Sure, I'll get it for you. You know? You're like, that's just the resilient nature of this team, the way they go about things. The other thing that's interesting, I forget who said this, might have been Christian McCaffrey or somebody like that, but it said, yeah, George Kittle's out for the season. But we've already seen Nick Bosa go down in a game. We've seen Fred Warner go down in a game to nasties. We've seen Mikael Williams go down and stuff like this. So you're like, in some ways,
you're just rolling with the punches.
It's like we've already seen this happen.
It's just more of the same, honestly.
It's like, yeah, we've already done this before. And oh, by the way, Fred Warner is somewhat back. His practice window got open today, so he's going to practice tomorrow with the team.
He's not human. I don't know how he's back.
Yeah, they expected him to be out 4 months, and this is 94 days. So it was 94 days tomorrow, I think that was the guy said. So that's 3 months. He's out and going to come back to practice. So, yeah, this is just roll with the punches team. We got to get back to the game, though. Okay, so the Niners somehow went into the Lincoln Financial Stadium in Philadelphia with the nasty fans that are in Philadelphia and pulled off the upset. They were the underdogs, and they pulled out a 23-19 win.
I think the most important play that set the tone for the rest of this game and really showed that, the Niners aren't here to just, this isn't our participation trophy. This is, we actually going to go and win this game, was third or more like second play of the game.
Oh, yeah.
61-yard pass no huddle play as well. A no huddle play for 61-yard pass from Brock Purdy to Demarcus Robinson. Amazing play.
Yeah, that's we're not
Set the tone immediately.
We're here to play.
And you go down 11-yard, 0-yard run, 11-yard pass, 3-yard run, and then you get a 2-yard touchdown pass. Just snap, just there, and you're already on the board.
Yeah. It took 3 minutes 9 seconds to get into the scoring column for the Niners. It just set the tone. There was some times in between that and then probably even at the end of the second quarter where I was doubting whether the Niners were going to win this game. Like there was serious doubt when they were down 13-7. And then before then, after they got the first touchdown, they had 2 3-and-outs.
Yes.
And then the defense, just like they did against the Seahawks, had a 3rd and 17 conversion. The Eagles had a 3rd and 15 conversion. I think that was in the second quarter. Was the 3rd and 15 conversion. Anyway, we might find it here. But that conversion was like, oh no. Because last week we talked about how, what are the difference maker points? What are the plays? What are the plays that are the difference maker plays? And I think that the Eagles made those difference making plays in the first half. But the Niners came back and made those plays in the second half.
Yes.
Like and the great thing was they were only down 10-13, and if there wasn't some weird clock management, can't line up correctly. I don't know if it was Kendrick Bourne or maybe Sky Moore couldn't line up correctly on the one side. One of them, if you looked at him, Juan Jennings was pointing, hey, one of you's got to get up on the line. They were both back.
And neither of them listened.
Yeah, and so they had to call a timeout, which then later they didn't have a timeout.
Which led to the fumble runoff for the clock, which is weird. But.
Yeah, but the next couple plays after that, they let like 20 seconds run off because of that. Anyway, probably cost them 3 points right there. Because they couldn't line up correctly. And you're like, oh, no, like we can't line up correctly. We've already lost George Kittle. We're down and we're in Philly type of thing. But our defense played way better than expected.
100%. So if we look at the beginning of the game, here are the Eagles started off with a 10-play, 5-minute, 35-second drive for 63 yards to go down and get a touchdown. And then the Niners respond back with a 3-and-out. And then the Eagles go all the way down, and they go for it on 4th and 2. And the Niners are able to stop them and get the turnover and downs. Now, we also go for a 3-and-out. But it just shows that there were so many times where, like, the Eagles had opportunities after the Niners messed up. Like, after the first interception in the third quarter, the Eagles only got 4 plays, and then they punted the ball. And after that, after the Niners got the first touchdown of the fourth quarter off of the trick play from Juwan Jennings to Christian McCaffrey, Eagles went and got a 3-and-out.
Well, so you think about it, the Eagles' first 3 possessions was touchdown. They got down, like you said, the turnover on downs. And then the next one was a 16-play, 94-yard touchdown drive. At that point, we're down 13-7. Our defense has been playing tough. I did take some notes of some players that were playing really good, like Sam Okinawa had a good stop on 3rd down. Upton Stout almost had an interception on a 4th down pass breakup. I think that was where we stopped them on the 4th down, the conversions down we just talked about. So you're like, okay, that wasn't up to this. At least he stopped him. But that could have been a pick 6. And that was part of those plays that like could have been amazing in the first half. Didn't. They had the 3rd and 15. They couldn't stop them in the first half. So it's almost like the defense had a little bit of a feeling out in the first half to get there. Niners had 3 drives with 3-and-out. Even with one of them had great field position, started at the 40-yard line and got no first downs. And so, that's some of my notes there from the first half. So I wasn't feeling great at halftime.
I was like, because as I said on this podcast last week, I predicted the Niners to lose this game because the run game wasn't doing anything. We were letting the Eagles go down and score points, and like we stopped them sometimes, but our offense couldn't match. And the entire thing that we said for the past few weeks is that our defense, we have to score because we know our defense can stop them, but they're not going to stop them every time. So we have to score as much as we can. And then only going into halftime, with 10 points is like,
Yeah, but only having a 3-point deficit
Yes.
was huge.
Yes.
That was like, okay, if our offense could finally start doing something, after the first drive.
Yes.
They got a field goal. So at the end of the first half, you're like, okay, I think the offense can start doing something. But give Eagles credit. They have a really good defense.
yes. I think this is sort of not as much as the score shows, but this was sort of a defensive matchup because the Eagles, the first drive out of the first half in the third quarter was the 3-and-out again. The Niners forced so many crucial 3-and-outs and just punts and forcing field goals on the Eagles, which led us to win this game. And then immediately after that, sort of what we talked about, our woes on offense, is that we had an interception, which would look like a promising drive. It could have been something we were on our own 42, and then we threw the interception, which is like, you do not want to throw an interception there, but we stop them, and they punt it anyway. They get -4 yards in 4 plays, which is crazy stuff. That this defense, this injury-riddled defense with no Fred Warner, no Nick Bosa, no Mykel Williams, a bunch of rookies on both the D-line and the DBs, and a bunch of who knows nobodies out in every position are able to stop this Eagles offense.
Yeah, I was just reading this up here. So the Niners rookies logged 152 snaps against the Eagles. Most of those were on the defense. You had Upton Stout. Okay, he's been starting most of the season.
Yep.
You have Alfred Collins and C.J. West. Both of them had huge stops on defense. And Marquise Siegel, he started the season as the starter, but then Jair Brown replaced him. Jair Brown went again to another injury. I think it was a hamstring. And he came in and he played really well. And then you got to get to Eric Kendricks and Garrett Wallow. And
Two names that I thought, oh no, when I heard those names. It's just like, we're getting these people who I've never heard of before. They're going out and playing linebacker in the most important game so far.
Yeah.
And they go and ball out. Garrett Wallow getting 11 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. Eric Kendricks getting 2 TFLs.
Tackles for losses.
And both of them getting 1 pass deflection. I think one of them being the game sealing.
That was Kendricks.
Eric Kendricks getting the game sealing deflection on 4th down against the Eagles. Crazy stuff from 2 people who I had no idea who they were 2 weeks ago. No idea.
Yeah. Which the crazy thing is Garrett Wallow. I'm looking him up here. He has played in the past for the he was on Denver earlier this season. But I think that in previous seasons he has played for the Texans, which is a similar offense to Miko Ryans. So he kind of knows the Niners defense. But he's at least 26 years old. He was drafted in the 5th round in 2021, so he's been around a few seasons. But like, we picked him up on waivers. Denver cut him, and we pick him up off of waivers, and he comes in like, I remember when he first came in, the first play we heard about him was it the Bears game, and he had like a penalty on special teams?
Yes.
And you're like, who is this guy?
Who is this man?
Yeah, where'd Wallow come from? But then you're like, Eric Kendricks is an all-pro, former all-pro.
Yeah.
And so you kind of expected something out of him. He actually played way better than expected from my perspective.
100%.
And then Wallow played really good. And Kendricks gave praise to Wallow and said the communication between those two was amazing. And if you watched the good play where Wallow and the Kendricks, sometimes the linebackers go and tap the linebackers on the side and say, hey, you got to move over a gap. That's smarts from the linebackers of, hey, this is the play. This is where we get to line up.
It's not something I've seen in the past few weeks from D-winners or
Tatum
Bethune. It's just,
or Curtis Robinson.
It's just smart moves from these young guys and this veteran who's just combined and played out of their minds.
Was it Baldy? Brian Baldinger, I think is this guy's name. He's a good football guy, so I watched some of his stuff where he was talking about how in some of the plays in the past where Tatum Bethune against the Seahawks, he didn't fill the lane correctly. He didn't fill his gap, which meant Jair Brown filled the wrong gap. What meant Lanier got the wrong gap, and then they bounced it all the way outside and got the one touchdown the Seahawks did. There was no filling the wrong gaps this time. The linebackers hit the spots where they need to hit.
I think we both talked about this. It was like the first touchdown the Eagles got. And we both saw that
it was a long play.
It was a long play.
But wasn't it? It was a 26-yard run by Saquon Barkley or something like that.
No, and Lenore was supposed to set the edge because he's out on the corner. He just runs up and he runs
the first quarter.
Yeah, in the first quarter, he just runs the middle. And both of us say that Lenore didn't set the edge. No one set the edge. So Saquon Barkley, who's one of the best running backs in the NFL, sees the wide open left side and he just runs out.
And then you see that player, a similar play later where Lenore stays outside because he knows the linebackers are doing their job inside. He doesn't need to try to help him. You need to do your job. He did his job, and they were stopping Saquon Barkley. Like, you were going over some of the second half possessions.
Saquon Barkley, for as good as he is, he had 26 carries for 106 yards for an average of 4.1.
Okay, but did you also know that, yes, it was 4.1. With C.J. West in the game, I think that went down to, I heard somebody like Sam quote right. With C.J. West in the game, it goes down to 3.1. With C.J. West and Alfred Collins are two rookies that we talked about earlier. Rookies getting snaps. I think it went down to 2.8 or 2.9. So
we're holding one of the best running backs in the league.
Yeah.
The guy who shattered records last year, won Offensive Player of the Year, and he's being held by two rookies?
Yeah. That's some good rookies. They've learned throughout the season. They've been coached up. Our defensive line coach, Kosaric, Chris Kosaric, is doing an excellent job of coaching those guys up. You go back to the third quarter, Eagles are 3 and out. Niners get an interception. Okay, Brock Purdy, wrong read. Eagles, 4 plays. Total of minus 4 yards. I think there was a penalty.
There was a 10-yard penalty, which let them move and get a first down.
Okay. Yeah, so they got up and then they moved back. Okay. Field goal in the next drive, 10 plays. 3 plays and out.
The next drive, 3 plays, punt. Next drive, 8 plays, hold them to a field goal. And then the final drive, once again, stop them on the 4th down.
Yeah, but they only went 44 yards in that final drive. So you're like, our defense got better as the game went on.
100%.
And our offense got better. So we talk about like the first half, we did not have confidence. And really the third quarter, our offense, they had Purdy was starting to move, and then the interceptions. Then they had a Eagles punt, Niners punt. They got to get a field goal. It's 16-10. Doesn't look great. Niners came out in the fourth quarter and balled out. That's when they had I forget the name of the play is, but the trick play.
Yes.
It was Sky Bang something, I think is the name of the play. They handed it off to Sky Moore. Did you hear that play was set up by 4 plays earlier in the game?
I did not hear that.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to get all this stuff quoted right because this is late night, almost 10 o'clock here. See if I remember all my research I've done for the last 2 days. Okay, so when they did similar plays earlier, they ran a jet sweep to Skymar earlier in the game.
I remember that, yes.
Okay, that was a setup. They did another one where they did the exact same play and it did a similar design. I forget what the name was this one is, but they did something else and they noticed that no one was in the deep part of the field. So they're like, okay, if we get the same look, this is what the Eagles defense is doing. So there was literally 4 plays throughout the game that set up that trick play. They also said that because Juan Jennings is right-handed, the ball had to be on the right hash. So it has to be at the right time of the game, can't be a third down play, has to be set up by earlier plays, and it has to be on the right hash. All of those things lined up perfectly to get that trick play. Like, it's
Kyle
amazing.
Shanahan is one of the best coaches of all time. One of the best offensive minds of all time.
And I've heard that they practice that play every week. Every week in practice, they have installed that play.
Which you can see with how good of a pass Juwan Jennings gave to Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, he's a high school quarterback, so and he was actually a 5-star recruit.
Insane. But.
And he actually went to Tennessee to be a quarterback, and they converted him to a wide receiver. Okay, but like he was a really good quarterback. It was a decent throw to good throw, but he also got like he
got rocked.
He got rocked and got a passer roughing the passer call. But like I also heard that because that was the first play after the end of the quarter, so they had a timeout to actually talk and converse and set that play up. Like, just amazing play calling that they had that play in the arsenal, that they had set it up perfectly. It was on the right hash that they needed to run. They had checked the Eagles defense. Oh, if we run this, no one's going to be in that part of the field exactly where we need to run it. And they did it. And I think
worked to perfection.
Yeah, Juszczyk knew when the play was called. He's like, okay, this is going to work because no one they've ran the play. They all knew it was going to work. So just amazing stuff there. Brock Purdy's a baller. We were talking about this earlier. He's played in 7 playoff games. 4 of them, he's led him to fourth quarter, game-winning drives. So, if you talk about Brock Purdy not being clutch, hey, 4 out of 7 playoff games, he's led him to comeback wins in the fourth quarter. That's playoff football right there. We'll get to our player of the game later, but there are so many players that we could give out we almost give out game balls this one, because there's like game balls to, we could probably list off 10 players that all deserve credit for the amazing play that they had in this game here. So, what else do I have in my notes? Do you have anything else there?
I want to give I don't know who you're going to choose for player of the game, but I just want to give a shout out to Demarcus Robinson. This guy, before coming in to this game, had a total of, I think, he had a total of 16 receptions on the season for 165 yards. He almost doubled his reception yards with 6 receptions for 111 yards with an average of 18.5 yards per catch and a touchdown. That is... when we were talking about like Ricky Pearsall being out is really important to this team because he's such a good wide receiver, and we had someone step up.
Yeah, Demarcus Robinson.
Yep.
Yeah, and we we don't know if Pearsall is going to play this next game.
I sure hope he does, but
we really need him because he's one of the few separators, and Seahawks have a really good defense. We need Ricky Pearsall.
We need Ricky Pearsall. We need Demarcus Robinson. We need Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, especially with no Kittle. But you get back to some of the other defensive players that deserve credit. We talked earlier about Lenore messed up once and gave up a long run play. He did set the edge of the next one, which actually helps create the Eagles get a holding penalty in that one, creates an Eagles punt. Marquise Siegel, we talked about him coming in as being one of the rookies, came back. He had an awesome open field tackle.
I remember that.
Yes. CJ West and Bryce Huff. We talked about CJ West earlier. Bryce Huff. They both had penetrations in the third and fourth quarters for penetrating on running plays. They may not have always stopped them, but they penetrated enough to slow him down to let the guys behind him get him for the tackles for loss. On the final drive, one of the other unsung heroes, Kevon White.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
You know what I'm going to say? Okay. He was one of those guys that we traded for a week before the deadline. Also think about, you could game ball, season ball, give credit toward John Lynch and his front office.
Okay. How are you finding these guys is my question.
You traded for Bryce Huff. You traded for Kevon White.
Keon
White. You added Wallow off of a waiver claim. You signed Eric Kendricks late in the season. You're like, when they talk about at the beginning of the season, hey, this is the 53 roster. No, it's the initial 53, and Kyle Shanahan's very adamant about that because they are constantly changing and adding players throughout the season. You're like, and CJ West is a rookie. He was not on the team last year. Alfred Collins was not. Upton Stout had some PPUs and some great coverage. Green, he's a second-year player. Draft pick from last year. Kevon White. Okay, so the play about Kevon White, getting back to what he was.
Kevon White, yes.
Kevon White. I think it was like 2 or 3 plays before the last play of the game. Okay, so it was 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 1:28 left. Jalen Hurts goes back, and he's scrambling. He goes shooting up the middle of the gap, and literally the field is wide open. He probably could have got a first down, if not to the 5-yard line. Like game-changing play with 1:28 left. Kevon White reaches out in kind of a shoestring sack, sacks him for a 1-yard loss. Just an amazing play. I think he was actually injured, but he got still got 4 pressures. And some people are talking about, hey, Jalen Phillips, who the Eagles traded for and paid a 3rd-round pick. We paid for a 6-7 swap. There's for you young kids out there. And so it's 6-7 pick swap.
I'm disappointed in you.
Okay, that was for everybody out there, just for for the fun of it. But we traded a lower round draft pick for him. He had 4 pressures in the game where Jalen Phillips only had 3. He was a higher draft pick, higher thing. He only had 3 pressures for the Eagles on Brock Purdy. Keon White had 4. He had -1, get a 1-yard sack, and then the Niners go 3 incompletions to end the game on 2nd 11, 3rd 11, 4th 11. So that instead of 10, that 1-yard loss that was from Keon White, huge sack in the game. Just so many defensive players.
I also want to shout out
up.
One of my favorite defensive players for the Niners was A.J. Brown. Bro had 0 catches in the second half. Your security guard is like Big Dom, had more receptions than you, and he's on the sideline. So thank you so much, A.J. Brown. You probably would have gotten a touchdown twice if you actually caught the ball. But love you, bro. So glad that you did this in the playoffs instead of the regular season, because I have you on one of my fantasy teams.
The other interesting thing I heard about is
I want all the smoke.
the last play. Sure, AJ Brown's totally going to hear about the Eastman Sport Report. Hey, if he does, that'd be awesome. Hey, make sure you put some comments out there. We'd love to hear some AJ Brown.
Tag us on your Instagram story.
Yeah, you quote that for him there. I heard some people actually complain about the Eagles' last play of the game. They actually called a timeout.
Oh, I sent a video of this to you.
Yeah.
Such
one of the guys. So one of them said this is a high school play. Not the one that you sent me. I think this came from somebody else. And this is the game. 4th down, 4th and 11
for the game. What are you gonna draw up? And you know what they draw up? 4 verticals. What? If you don't convert this, you don't go anywhere else in the playoffs. You don't win another game. You have to wait until October or September 2026. That is so long from now. And you drop 4 verticals.
Now you had to get 11 yards. I give you that much. But
not one person's running a slant to create separation.
There's no crossers across the middle. There's
no movement there's no movement to shift the defense.
And Robert Saleh had called the quarters coverage, which basically means you have a guy quarter across the field. So you're running 4 verticals basically right into the teeth of the Niners defense. That defense was perfectly designed for that play.
Are you stupid? Now, the offensive coordinator, Kevin Petula, did just get fired either today or yesterday. So, yes, the answer is yes, he is stupid. But are you stupid?
Now, another thing I've heard, this is, again, quoting from other people. We bring it to you for you. We do all the research to bring it to you guys here. Some people are saying that the simpleness of the Eagles' offense is because of Jalen Hurts. He can't handle a complex offense.
Interesting.
So,
I have not heard this take before.
Yeah, I heard that take, and you're like, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, I don't want to get into too much in detail, but there's some interesting comments out there about, hey, go back to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs were all in stopping Saquon Barkley, so he had to throw passes, right? Okay, the Niners stopped Saquon Barkley, and then they went out and says, beat us Jalen Hurts, and he couldn't. So anyway, again, you could give it to Robert Saleh, our game ball. Awesome defensive game plan.
But who are you gonna?
Am I gonna pick one player? Sure, I got a player. Let's do it here.
Once again, every single week we take a moment and for the player of the game, we thank the Lord for our player of the game, which is
Eric Kendricks.
Amen.
Eric Kendricks, the former All-Pro, we've given some flowers before. Let's give some more to the guy, where he took the green dot in his helmet. He got everybody lined up on the defensive line, on the defensive side of the ball. He was talking out there. He was playing his rear hand off. He's sticking his nose in there. He's doing his best Fred Warner imitation out there. If you were to close your eyes and not look at the numbers, yes, he's not as good as Fred Warner. Totally agree. But our linebacker play stepped up from the game we played against the Seahawks.
Yes.
Like, this was totally both Wallow and Kendricks. I probably could throw a little bit of add onto the thank the Lord player for, but Eric Kendricks was the difference maker on the defense. I think our defense is better than when we played the Seahawks the first time. So as we transition to thinking about the Seahawks next week,
if we can possibly
beat the Seahawks,
beat the Seahawks, and even then possibly get back Fred Warner for the Seahawks game, which I don't think is going to happen, but it could.
They're saying
Definitely
championship
could.
game. But anyway, you're like, in some ways, Eric Kendricks, if it was still Tatum Bethune, I'd be like, get Fred Warner out there. I don't care. Like, you got Eric Kendricks out there. Okay, you got a healthy Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks is, like I said, a former All-Pro. Last year, he had over 100 tackles.
Yes.
He's only played 2 games. He's like one of the freshest players out there. Like, he's fresh. He's ready to go. He's in midseason form right now. He's just getting getting the rust.
He barely has any wear tear on him.
I know.
He's barely been around the EMF station at all. We're not going to talk about that, but we do know.
Like, okay, that's some conspiracy theories, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But, like, he's out there balling out. I just got to say thank the Lord for Eric Kendricks. Like, I do not think we would have won this game without him. And now there's many other players. We gave some a lot of credit to other players that all played really good. But he was the one that I really picked out as like, nope, I'm giving it to him. Thank the Lord for Eric Kendricks.
Okay. I think that's enough for Niners-Eagles coverage. Now, we're going to talk about the Seahawks game once we get into predictions a little bit more and talking about what's going to happen there. But right now, I still don't have a new soundbite for it yet, but because it's both of us. But we're going to do, do you have tiers for yours? I don't have tiers for mine.
I don't
this
have
week.
tiers this week.
This week, we're doing our top 8 of the teams left. Divisional round teams.
So this is our playoff top 8?
Playoff top 8, yes.
Playoff top 8.
You want to go, Stevens, playoff top 8. I have the sound of the Max's top 10 still, but it doesn't really fit the vibe.
Yes.
So starting off, who do you have at number 8?
Number 8.
I'm hoping we agree on this.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this order. We wrote it kind of quick here. Bears, Chicago Bears, number 8.
I agree with that. I think that
I was not impressed by their beating the Packers.
I didn't even think the Packers were not a good team going into the playoffs, and you still have to come back against them.
Yeah,
is my thing.
No, I do give a little bit credit to the Bears.
Yes, 100%.
You won a playoff game.
You still won the game. You still won the game.
Yes.
You're still in the playoffs.
But, like, your first half offense stinks. Like, could you say that? You were down 21-3, wasn't it? And you almost lost that game. Like, I think I've seen the amount of minutes that the Bears were leading during the game, or was it snaps? The amount of snaps that the Bears offense had in the 3 games they played the Packers this year with the lead is 0.
That's crazy.
So when they played the Packers 3 times this year, the only time they've taken the lead was on the final plays of at least the offensive side of the ball on both games. So they had 0 snaps with the lead in 3 games against the Packers. That's why you get
number 8.
Number 8.
Okay, I do want to say before I go into this, the bottom 5 teams I had on my list last week all lost their game. Every single team I had starting at 14 to number 10 lost their game that week.
Yeah, and my 5 out of my bottom 6 did lose. So we at least we may not be able to pick the games right, but we're doing a better job at our power rankings.
Yes. Okay, so going into number 7, I'm going to start off with my team that I have at number 7 because I know you have a different team. I have the Denver Broncos.
Max does not believe in the Broncos.
I am not as they say, a believer. I feel like I had to explain this to you last time I said it.
I get you now.
But
I remember.
This team is not built for playoff success, in my opinion. They've won so many close games that if they just swung the other way, they'd be like 7 and I don't even know what the other number.
7-10.
7-10.
Yeah.
Like they'd be out of the playoffs. They'd be almost tied with the Chiefs record right now. I don't believe in this Broncos team. They're
the number 1 seed.
They're the number 1 seed by this much, and every single one of they almost lost to the New York Giants.
Yeah, they're the number 1 seed because the Raiders beat the Patriots.
True.
Anyway,
have you talked about this on this podcast?
I don't think we did. Yeah, that was the amount of tiebreakers it did between the Broncos and the Patriots to win it. It
came down to week 1 where the Raiders,
common opponents,
where the Raiders beat the Patriots in week 1.
Every game counts in the NFL. Every game, including week 1.
Okay, I do not believe in the Broncos. I do not believe that they're going to get past the divisional round, especially.
And who are they playing?
The Buffalo Bills, especially with the team that they're playing against this week.
Okay, so my number 7 team is the Buffalo Bills.
Gosh, dang it.
So
why I oughta?
This is where we're going to differ a little bit. I'm curious to see how we're going to get to the picks. The Bills won, but I am not confident in what they did. Like, they beat the Jaguars. They looked a little better than I thought they would. But anyway, but there's lots of other good teams on here. Anyway, there's probably like the team at 6. I probably could have dropped them and maybe 6, 7 and swapped them. But anyway, so I put Bills as number 7.
Okay.
Who do you have for number 6?
Number 6, I got the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Do I believe that they can beat almost every team on this list? Yes. Am I sure that they could also lose against every team on this list? Also, yes. They are the most volatile team, in my opinion. They can either ball out and score 42 points on you or get 3. But they haven't been shut out this season yet. Haven't scored 0 points. I'll take that as a victory. We already talked about the Niners a lot, but I think this is single-handedly the most resilient team in the entire NFL with everything that's happened this season. I believe the Niners, if there were any underdog team to keep winning games and keep going and maybe even go to the Super Bowl and maybe even win it, who knows? I'd say it'd be the 49ers.
Oh, yeah.
Because
totally agree.
In this season where nothing makes sense, it makes perfect sense for this 49ers team to go out and do something big.
I mean, I would love to see that. Okay, so my number 6 team, the Rams. I am losing confidence in the Rams. I think they started the season, was it 9-2? And then they ended at 3-3, I think is what the record is. I think it adds up correctly. I think that's what I remember correctly. And they just squeaked by against the Panthers. Now, the Panthers beat them the last time they played them. And the Panthers were balling out, but like...
The 8-9 Panthers do this to you, Rams?
Yeah, and you're like, the Rams are supposed to be Super Bowl favorites, and you're like, okay, so they dropped big time in my rankings. Now, they're playing the Bears, who I ranked as number 8. Might be a little bit of a hint to where we're going in the picks, but I am not trusting the Rams as much as I had in the past. Okay, you want me to do number 5 first?
Sure. Who do you have for number 5?
Number 5, moving up the list here, I got the Texans next.
Ooh, nice.
The Texans have a great defense. Totally agree. C.J. Stroud actually played some decent offense out there. They finally got some points against the Steelers last night, but it wasn't until the end of the game. And, I mean, you're 5th out of the final 8. So, like, you're right in the middle. They could totally win in the next couple games and get to the Super Bowl. They could lose. So, look, which I could say that just about any team because that's about where this league has gone this year. Texans, number 5.
Number 5, I get the LA Rams. And that's solely because I know that if this team decides to actually put it together and stops trying to shoot themselves in the foot at almost every single opportunity they get, they can be really dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Agree.
If they keep playing at this level that they have been against the Panthers and against the Falcons and like the second half again or like the fourth quarter and overtime against the Seahawks, I don't really believe in this team if it's that version of the Rams that show up. But if it's the version of the Rams that we've seen throughout the majority of the season and have seen dominating almost every single team that they played against.
I think they're one of the most talented, balanced teams left.
Yes.
But I don't have confidence that they can just go out and do it because there's other teams playing harder, in my opinion, and smarter.
Yes. But Rams, number 5. Okay, number 4. For me, I got the Houston Texans.
Okay.
I have the Houston Texans solely because of their otherworldly defense. If it's not the Seahawks who have the best defense in the NFL, it's the Texans.
And depending on the metric,
yes,
they go neck and neck.
Yes, it's that first like 3 quarters of the Texans versus Steelers game. It was a slog. It was so boring. And then the Texans finally decided to start doing something, getting a pick 6 against Aaron Rodgers, which is his last completion at probably in his career if he doesn't keep one more year out.
Didn't he do a?
He didn't have another completion. They just ran the ball after that.
No, when he was his last play as a Packer, didn't he throw a pick 6 as his last play of the Packers?
I think it was just an interception. I don't know if it was a pick 6.
Maybe it was just an interception.
Tom Brady's last pass as a Patriot was a pick 6.
That's true. Okay.
So,
Okay.
Texans at number 4, we already sort of talked about them. I do have more confidence in the Texans offense than probably you do. But they just ran into the Steelers team who have a really good defense, so it showed a little bit there. But they still were able to score 30 points against that Steelers defense.
We haven't mentioned it, but if you haven't heard, Mike Tomlin
got stepped away from the 2.
Yeah, he stepped down. He's not expected to coach. I don't know if it's mutually agreement. Technically, what they're saying is not fired. But after 19 seasons,
and
he's stepping away from the Steelers head coach, which I think in the history of the Steelers, they only have like 4 head coaches.
Which is crazy.
Which is super crazy.
But
going back to like the 60s or something
quick
like
thing
that.
to say about the Steelers, I think this is the right decision because Mike Tomlin's been a really good coach, but they've just never gone over the hump as of late. And I think they're trying to get over the hump. Yeah. So that's the quick thing we're going to say. Okay, who do you have at number 4?
Was one of the things I was going to say about that because of Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh leaving. Kyle Shanahan now is tied for the second longest tenure in the NFL.
Who's the longest?
Andy Reid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think he's at 13, and Sean McVay of the Rams and Kyle Shanahan of the Niners both are at 9.
Okay.
Moving on, number 4.
Number 4.
I have the Niners at number 4.
Ooh.
See, I listed, and this is where it's like Niners, Texans, even the Rams, kind of middle of the pack here. You're like, Niners have a really good offense. Texans have a really good defense. Rams have a whole lot of talent and may not or may not put it together. So I kind of put those 3 together as in like, and really you have Texans, Rams, Niners. I have Niners, Texans, Rams. Those 3 could be, pick a name out of a hat.
Yep.
I put the Niners up there because they're more gritty. They're more resilient than the Texans and the Rams are. So I give them credit for like the amount of stuff that they've had to gone through and pull it out. That's why I have them a little bit higher.
I also picked the Niners below them because the Texans and the Rams have both beaten the Niners lately, so that kind of factors in a little bit. Okay, number 3. Who do you have at number 3? I'm going to take a wild guess.
I have the Broncos.
Gosh! Dang it! Man! I swear we don't collude on these.
So you had the Broncos down at number 7. I'm putting the Broncos at number 3. They are the number 1 seed. They do have a good overall team. I don't think they're as good as the other 2 teams, but I think they're a little more complete than the Niners, so I had them up there at the top. Let me guess who you have for number 3. The Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
So we have those 2 exactly swapped between 3 and 7.
4 spots different.
Yeah. How could we do that anymore?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's almost like
we're related or something.
I don't know. Okay.
Dad? Is that you?
Yes,
but I have the Bills. It's just that their defense showed out against the Jaguars, especially in the last few drives of that tip interception. It just really shows that, like how we said, the Bills, their team has to show up. And against the Jaguars, their entire team did show up. They were able to create pressure on Trevor Lawrence the entire game. They were able to get a sack. The only sack that they had, Josh Allen only had 1 sack, and that was against Josh Allen. So
Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So I believe in the Bills. I also believe that they're the most probably the most experienced team besides maybe the Niners and the Rams out of this entire playoffs. So I think they know how to win close playoff games, how to win in harsh environments, in the cold, because they play in Buffalo, so it's really cold there almost all the time. But I believe in the Bills. I believe in Josh Allen. I think that they're finally starting to put the pieces together this season. Okay, number 2. I have the New England Patriots.
Okay.
The hard thing about the Patriots is that I don't really know a weakness for their team, but I also don't really know a strength. They just kind of...
They're just solidly good.
They're just good.
And like we talk about the Rams being the most balanced. I think the Rams have more talent.
Yes.
But the Patriots are playing more as a team and more consistent and more
I feel like their parts
more cohesive.
They're playing their parts. They're playing as a greater whole. They're playing as a greater sum than their parts. Does that,
yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
But it's just like all these players from who knows where. It's sort of like the Niners in a way of a bunch of no-name players. I have no idea who they're talking about, and they're playing this good. They're going out and winning a wild card game. And it's just it doesn't make sense. They're able to get 6 sacks on Justin Herbert. Now, that's not very impressive because the Chargers have the worst offensive line in football. The Niners can probably get 3 on them, but I don't really know what to say. Drake May's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have the Patriots also at number 2?
I have the Patriots at number 2, which leaves the Seahawks
at number 1. Sadly.
Yeah, so the Niners are playing what we think is the best team left.
But can the Niners beat them?
Totally.
Totally. Go back to week 1.
Yeah, we split with the Seahawks.
Okay,
so we'll talk a little more about the Seahawks when we get to the game here.
Okay,
So, you want to recap these again or not?
Recap for my rankings going from bottom to top. I had Bears at 8, Broncos at 7, Niners at 6, Rams at 5, Texans at 4, Bills at 3, Patriots at 2, and Seahawks at number 1.
Okay, mine are moving back up. We got Bears at 8, Bills at 7, Rams at 6, Texans 5, Niners at 4, Broncos 3, Patriots, and Seahawks. And okay, yes, if you are noticing, it's 10:30 night, and I'm yawning because it's past my bedtime.
Okay.
So let's get into our last segment of the podcast,
which is our prime time picks, where you pick out your prime time games of your NFL schedule and tell you who's going to win and who's going to win. Lose? Frick. Shoot. Who's the first matchup of the week, Steven? Okay. Saturday afternoon football.
We have Saturday afternoon football. It's the 2 number 1 seeds are hosting on a Saturday afternoon. We have the Bills at the Broncos.
Ooh.
For the first game of the weekend.
I feel like our power rankings kind of spoiled who we're going to pick in this matchup. But I'm just going to let you start off. Who do you think is going to win this game?
Yes, I'm going to go with basically what my power ranking says, and I'm picking the Broncos to win.
Okay.
Now, I 100% think Josh Allen is going to outplay Bo Nix.
100%.
But I also think the Broncos defense is going to outplay the Bills defense, and that's going to be the difference in the game.
I have the Bills.
Which is awesome and great.
Because I believe in the Bills. I believe that even that they don't seem like the greatest team, which they have seemed like the greatest team in the years before, but they're still going out and winning these important playoff games, the important games to decide their playoff lives and be able to get in the playoffs. Josh Allen's still here. He's still fighting, so he still has a chance. So that's why I have the Bills.
Okay. Niners, Seahawks.
I want you to go first, okay? I know you want me to go first, but I want you to go first.
Okay. So it's a rematch of Week 18.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks won 13-3. The Seahawks have not played since they last played the Niners.
Yes.
So they played 2 weeks in a row.
Have to game plan for the same exact team.
Now, the funny thing is our defense is actually better than what they played us the first time. I think Marquise Siegel is playing better than Jair Brown. We already talked about Eric Kendricks and Wallow playing better as our linebackers. So our defense is better. But offensively, we should have Trent Williams back. Hopefully, we have Ricky Pearsall back. No confirmation on that at all. But we have George Kittle out. So with Kittle out, we really need Pearsall back. Like this is Pearsall is the man beater. And if you go through who on the team could go beat man, it's Kittle. Well, we could still mention Brandon Ayuk. He's still technically under contract. And Ricky Pearsall. Those are the 3 guys that are going to go beat man. You got to have one of them. You got to have one. Now, you might have Christian McCaffrey might be able to consider beating man out there as a wide receiver because he's a really good wide receiver, not just a running back. But when you have Kyle Juszczyk getting 4 catches, which I love me some Kyle, I love you some juice.
Yes.
But like if Kyle Juszczyk is out there getting 4 catches, it's because you're missing Kittle. I think you're going to need a big thing from that. Even with all that, I'm still picking the Seahawks.
Which is great because I'm also picking the Seahawks.
Okay.
And the main thing is that I keep saying to myself is every time I've doubted the Niners this year is they come out and win a game. When we both picked the Rams to go and beat the Niners go out and beat them in Thursday Night Football in one of the most shocking games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
With Mac Jones and a whole bunch of nobodies and Kendrick Bourne and Fred Warner. And I believe that I have no idea what's going to happen in this game. I have no idea what side of the Niners are going to show up. I know the Seahawks are going to come out. They're going to swing at us. We just got to swing back.
They're a really good team. Give them 100% credit on that. They're a really good team. They're very awesome players. They're rested. They're ready to go. But I also think Kyle Shanahan because he just did a game plan for them, and he finally was starting to get some offense moving in the fourth quarter. I think he's going to come out with a very different game plan and how to beat these. Also, because George Kittle, I think that to win the game, we're going to have to. Brock Purdy's going to have a good game. I think this has to be a zero interception game for Brock Purdy to win. Maybe one, but you have to take care of the ball. You have to take advantage of the things and our defense has to get probably a pick off of Sam Darnold to win the game. Now, all that is totally 100% possible, but I'm like, the Seahawks are really good. And that's why I'm picking the Seahawks to win. I think it's still going to be a close game. I don't think the Niners are going to get blown out. I don't like picking against Brock Purdy in the playoffs. But
if it was any team to beat us, and if it was any team to lose this year, it'd probably be this team.
Yeah,
we don't have otherworldly talents.
Yeah.
On our defense, we just have a bunch of people who are getting coached out of their and playing out of their minds.
I would love to see Josh Allen and the Bills come play the Niners in Levi Stadium for the Super Bowl. My
Super Bowl pick is still alive.
So
100%.
I still want to see that, but I just think the way the resilient the Niners are, I don't want to count them out. But if you're saying, hey, you got to pick somebody to win, you're like, I'm sorry, I'm picking the Seahawks.
If I had to bet money, it'd be on the Seahawks. I'm wearing a Fred Warner jersey right now. I wish every player on my team could play like Fred Warner. I wish I could have Fred Warner back in my team. But if we want Fred Warner out on that field, we got to win this game.
Yeah.
Do I believe the Niners can win this game? Like I already said, yes. I don't know if they will, though. Okay. Next game. Sunday afternoon football. Houston Texans in... Is it still?
It's in Denver.
Denver?
Isn't it in Denver? They're playing Denver.
They're playing the Patriots.
Oh, sorry. Texans, Patriots.
Yes. Is it still Gillette Stadium?
Yes.
Okay. In Gillette Stadium against the New England Patriots. Now, I'm gonna come out with my take first. And the most important thing that I want to put out there is that the New England Patriots last week put up 16 points against the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers team, which ranked, depending on the metric that you use, about 20th in defense in the regular season. Drake May got sacked 5 times against the about 20th ranked defense in the NFL. And now you're going to go and play probably one of, if not the best defense in the NFL, in the Houston Texans. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Houston Texans are going to win this game. Drake May had a great campaign. He's probably going to win MVP based off his regular season. But road stop here, buddy. You ran into a brick wall. Let's see if you can run through it.
Okay, so I wrote down this pick before you said I'm picking the Texans too.
Sometimes I just say things. and I don't know if he's going to say the same thing back. Apparently he does this week.
We do not, you can totally tell we do not collude on our picks. I am picking the Texans too. I think this defense is really, really good of the Texans. We talked about that earlier in the rankings. Patriots are playing really good. I think they are a very solid team.
Yes.
But I think the Texans defense is dominant. I really do.
I especially saw that when they played the Niners. And when they played a bunch of these other teams, and when their defense scored, I think 2 of their touchdowns against the Steelers. That's why I think the Texans are going to go out and win this game.
And if the Texans, let's say the Texans and the Bills play, those are 2 wildcard teams, which just makes sense for how the season goes.
100%.
100%. You're like in the NFC side. If it was the Niners Rams in the NFC Championship game, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if it's this is 2 wildcards. If all the wildcard teams, which would be visitors this week, all won, I would not be shocked in any way. These are really close. We did not put a tiers in our 1 to 8 because
there's not really tiers you can put them in right now.
No, they're not right now. Okay, so we got both picking the Texans. Let's go to the last game of the weekend: Rams at the Bears.
So as much as you don't believe in the Rams, I want to hear your opinion on them.
I think the Rams defense is way better than the Bears defense.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yep, agreed.
And I think Matthew Stafford plays really good in the playoffs. I hadn't say he came back and led the game last week. So I think this is a little bit of Rams defense and Matthew Stafford pick. And I think Caleb Williams' luck's going to run out, so the Rams are going to win this game.
And I'd have to agree with you on that. I think that the matchup to watch is the Rams defense versus the Bears offense, because the Bears have a really good offense, but they kind of have a bad defense, as you saw, especially the Sunday Night Football game against the Niners. But the Rams have the #1 scoring offense in the NFL, and they're going up against this Bears defense. Mm-hmm. I just think it's going to be an absolute tear out there for the Rams. They might even score 40 points against them.
Yeah. And I don't think Caleb Williams is going to keep up with on this Rams defense. I think they're going to play. So yeah, now that means that we're picking 3 out of the 4 games the same.
Mm-hmm. And I'm picking 3 out of the 4 games to be the away team winning. But I could also definitely see 4 out of 4. I'm not counting the Niners out. Yeah. But I don't. Yeah. I don't want to count the Niners out. But like I'm picking against them.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. So we'll see how we doing. So we are doing the primetime picks. If you're tracking from last week, we both went 4-2. We did pick more games different last week, but they evened out. So we were both 4-2. Once we get to the end of the season, we'll come back and recap
our total rankings,
our season total. Once we get probably to the Super Bowl week, we'll cover that maybe in the week in between the Super Bowl and stuff, and do some.
And also, if the Niners do end up winning the Super Bowl, we are going to be at the parade. So 100%. I don't care what happens. I don't care if you're trying to make plans with me on that day. I can't be there. Sorry.
So would that be a game? I hope it's not a game day. If it's a Tuesday,
please be a Monday. Please be a Monday.
No, because the Super Bowl will be Monday. They wouldn't have it on Monday.
Please be a Wednesday.
Please be a Wednesday. Please be a Wednesday.
Well, no, wait. The Super Bowl is going to be in Santa Clara.
They wouldn't have to travel home.
Okay, let's talk about this problem if we get there.
Yeah.
If we get there, not when we get there. We don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know.
I might have. I hopefully this clip isn't gonna. I'm gonna have to eat my words and go. Oh man. But
okay, so yeah, because we are a coach and player, and that'd be the last week of the season, and be like important game for the playoffs.
Yeah.
For our own season. Okay, so. Hey, thanks everybody for listening to our podcast.
That is gonna wrap us up for this end of the episode. It was sorry, Sacramento Kings.
Yes,
we're not going to talk about you when you're 10-30, 10-20 something.
Are we 29 or 30 losses?
No, I think we're either 10-28 or 10-29, because I know we have
10-30. We are 10-30,
right? Because the Pelicans are like 10-32.
They're 9-33.
9-33.
9-33.
They played a game? They probably played a game today. I checked in the morning.
So they're 9-33.
Okay. Sorry. The Kings are bad. We're not going to talk about them. The Niners are good. They're in the playoffs. They could go make the Super Bowl. Who knows? Anything could happen.
They have had the Kings have won 2 games in a row.
We have won 2 games in a row. Very good job. We can go on a 4-game losing streak again, and then we can win another game. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And ESPN came out with their latest mock draft, and the Kings are number 2, picking up AJ DeBonce.
We'll probably talk.
I'd be perfectly fine with.
I'm fine with.
I wouldn't mind AJ.
We need a wing. I'm fine with that. We'll probably talk more about the Kings. Sorry, any Kings fans out there who are listening to this, and you want to listen to more of us. Probably going to talk about more about the Kings when like an actual trade happens, because we're in trade talks right now. If we want to do a podcast next week, probably when we have more time about like trade rumors and stuff like that. But
we'll see.
Okay, so that's going to wrap us up for this episode of the Eastman Sport Report. We thank all of you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.